Ask a banker what a vault is, and they will point you to a thick room of steel and concrete. Ask someone in finance today, and you will get a half dozen different answers. In the early days of crypto, a vault meant passive cold storage, a digital lockbox kept entirely offline. By 2020, decentralized finance turned that definition upside down. Vaults became chaotic, automated yield farms that rapidly moved tokens between lending protocols and required constant monitoring to avoid collapse. Curious, this confusion over a single word actually hid a massive hole in the market. The financial system urgently needed infrastructure that offered the impenetrable security of cold storage, but with the massive automated scalability of a yield farm. Two entirely different groups of people were effectively locked out of decentralized finance. First, you have the everyday retail user. They want to earn a steady interest rate on stablecoins, digital assets pegged to the US dollar. But they are blocked by the sheer terror of technical complexity, managing cryptographic seed phrases, bridging assets across networks, and paying unpredictable gas fees, all of which keeps their capital stuck on the sidelines. On the exact opposite end of the spectrum, you have traditional Wall Street institutions. These firms want to deploy hundreds of millions of dollars into digital asset markets, but legally and functionally, they cannot participate in early DeFi lending pools. The core roadblock is commingling. Legacy lending protocols lump all user funds into one massive pool. For a highly regulated institution, depositing client capital into the exact same smart contract as an anonymous, highly leveraged retail trader is an unacceptable compliance risk. Despite operating in completely different worlds, the retail user and the Wall Street titan both required the exact same structural breakthrough to enter the market: the curated vault. Early DeFi lending protocols showed a common design flaw. Their risk parameters, like collateral requirements and interest rate models, were hard-coded into the protocol itself. Changing those rules required a decentralized governance vote, a process that could take days while market conditions shifted in minutes. Platforms like Morpho solved this by splitting the architecture into a two-layer system, permanently separating the underlying code from the active risk management. The bottom layer is the base protocol. These are immutable, permissionless lending markets. The code provides the raw accounting and settlement piping, and it cannot be altered. The top layer is the vault layer. This is managed by independent professional risk managers known as curators. Modularity fixes the legacy problem. Because the risk management sits on top of the base protocol, curators can adjust to real-time market volatility instantly, while the underlying code remains entirely secure and unchangeable. Curators operate much like traditional asset managers. They set the risk parameters, select which collateral is acceptable, and actively shift capital allocations based on market health. But here is the critical difference from traditional finance. Curators never take custody of the funds. They only hold the keys to adjust the strategy, never to withdraw the capital. Every action a curator takes is strictly enforced by smart contracts. Their performance is entirely transparent on public blockchains, and major changes are subject to mandatory time locks, giving depositors a window to withdraw their funds if they disagree with the new strategy. To safely route capital into these strategies, enterprise infrastructure providers like Veda and IO.finnet supply the secure piping. They utilize trustless multi-party computation, or TMPC, a cryptographic method that distributes private key fragments across multiple parties, ensuring no single entity can compromise the funds. This architecture shifts institutional risk from the identity of the person holding the funds to the specific constraints enforced by the smart contract. With the infrastructure finalized, centralized crypto exchanges began utilizing these enterprise vaults to completely hide the complexity of decentralized finance from their users. Kraken's DeFi Earn product is the prime example of this seamless integration. Everyday users now get one-click access to complex on-chain yields, sometimes reaching up to 4.9% APY. They never have to secure a seed phrase. They never have to manually bridge a single asset across networks, and they do not pay network gas fees. Behind that single click, a Veda vault and professional curators like Chaos Labs are executing the heavy lifting in the background, continuously rebalancing the portfolio across various lending markets. The retail user finally has the simplicity of a traditional banking app, powered directly by the high-yield engine of decentralized finance. At the exact same time, traditional finance giants are officially moving their capital on-chain. Apollo Global Management manages $940 billion in assets. They represent the apex of traditional Wall Street scale. In early 2026, Apollo signed an agreement to acquire up to a 9% stake in the Morpho lending protocol over a 4-year period. They did not do this to speculate on a cryptocurrency token. They made this move to leverage Morpho's curated vaults to build scalable, regulated credit markets that can process traditional financial assets. Apollo's investment proves the curator model works. It provides the strict risk segregation, total transparency, and granular control that legacy institutions legally require to operate. A single piece of smart contract infrastructure has successfully bridged the gap. The exact same architecture is simultaneously powering a retail user's smartphone exchange app and a Wall Street titan's global credit strategy. Today, these modern DeFi vaults have officially become the secure, automated engines powering the next generation of global wealth.